Okay, there's been a lot of talk about Kojima's next game being abandoned, or it could be a cloud-based game that he's going to partner with Kim Swift on. I don't think the abandoned thing is true, but there was an excellent article on tweaktown.com which collected a lot of evidence that could point to what that scary game is going to be that he's developing with Kim Swift. Let's talk about it. Okay, so this was one of the coolest collections of quotes and things, sort of talking about what Hideo Kojima could be working on for that cloud-based game that he's going to be developing with Kim Swift helping him out. So, long story short, he's been actually talking about this and teasing it for a while now, and it sounds like it might not be Silent Hill, but it might be a spiritual successor to Silent Hill. So, um, Tweaktown says it looks like Kojima's experimental new horror game, Film Hybrid, has found a home at Microsoft. And we know that Jeff Grubb has been sort of talking about this. Jeff Grubb basically says the deal's going to get done. It may not be signed yet, but it is absolutely going to get done. We'll see what happens there. I'm really, really excited about this. So here's some of the things that he has said in the past. So back in 2019 with Rocket Beans, Kojima said, "I want to do a horror game, and interactive mediums are really a good match. I think it could be much safer than movies if it's to go on an interactive platform," Kojima said in a Rocket Beans interview from 2019. So that's really, really interesting to me because it means it's going to be more interactive than anything else. And the cloud medium is going to offer a lot of opportunities there because people are going to just have a much easier way to access the game and an easier way to participate in a game like this. He continued, "I want to create a horror game, but I don't have this good solution to being able to look away when things get scary. For PT, I wanted to create something that everyone really shares. But if you're too scared, you won't play, right? I want to challenge the horror genre and solve this problem." Just reading that quote out loud, I can't even imagine how you would solve for that because part of the reason that horror games are great and I love them is because you don't necessarily want to see every single thing. You kind of get freaked out or you're worried about what's around that next corner. And that builds into the whole tension dynamic of the product. That's kind of like what you want to be experiencing or you want your users to be experiencing, right? Um, I don't know how you solve for that because to me that sounds like, oh, the game's not scary. If you don't want to look away, then you're not scared. Like it doesn't seem like a solvable problem to me, but maybe Kojima will come up with something, who knows. He continues, "I really want to do something a little bit different in the next 5 years. The platform will be streaming. I think there's something ahead, and I'm thinking about that. It's a movie, but it's a game. I'm thinking of that kind of idea, and I want to do that kind of thing," Kojima said during a BAFTA panel in 2019. So for me, that really, really reminds me of Dark Pictures, I want to say is the name of the company. They do all those sort of scary interactive games where you walk around a little bit, then you make a selection, and then you watch sort of a mini movie, then you make another choice, and you potentially put your characters in peril or you don't. So if this is the sort of thing that he's developing, that's the only thing that I could think would meet the tenets that he's set up or the goals, the design goals that he's sort of set up. It's certainly interesting, but all this sort of goes back into what we know about the game that he's developing in the cloud with Kim Swift. And cloud development is going to be really, really interesting. I think anything that doesn't require precise movements, like a shooter, anything but shooters, or anything that involves precise movements is really, really a good product to be utilizing the cloud infrastructure for. Could the horror genre be part of that? Potentially, as long as there's not like a really big correlation between how quick you need to input something and how quick your character needs to do something on the screen. Like fighting games, I don't think should be streamed as an example. Or what's another one? I don't think that shooters should be streamed, but RPGs are great. Adventure games seem like they could do well. Platformers, maybe not, because again, if you press that button and there is a significant delay, you're going to fall into the pit or whatever. It's as the future moves towards this medium and We see Nvidia has a service like this. Stadia tried it. It didn't quite hit the mark. It's going to be interesting to see what Microsoft is able to do. I mean, if anybody has the money, Microsoft certainly does. So continuing on the quotes, I can't really say specifically what the new project is, but there is a new project. There is a new project in the works, as we know, and we do think that it is Microsoft, at least according to what Mr. Jeff Grubb has been saying. It won't be like the past. It won't be one step at a time. It's a drastic change, just like after 9/11. We have to adapt and think about new ways of creating as entertainment can't fall behind. And it's really interesting that he brings that up. 9/11, obviously a tragedy. And I'm surprised he makes that correlation to what happened during COVID. I think a lot of businesses are going to adapt to, working from home versus having it in office. There's been a lot of studies out there about how the workforce is going to change after this. And I do think that is true. Things are definitely going to have to adapt and modify how they've been doing things so that they can harness the positives that have happened because of this, at least for the businesses that were able to come out ahead. And it's interesting that he brings that up because one of the things Microsoft's doing is they're doing that new program. I believe it's Azure. But anyway, you're going to be able to basically develop games as long as you have an internet connection in your house using the best software and the best hardware available because you're just basically logging into a computer and using this powerful computer to create your project as opposed to relying on high-end hardware in your house. Like right now, I have a bunch of gear in here that I have to utilize. But what if I was able to do this over the cloud? It would reduce that barrier to entry, empower more people to be creative, empower more developers to be creating games. And I think that's the goal, which is why this whole thing is really, really exciting. So I have to think about what's going to happen in the future. If it was something like an alien coming into my game, it wouldn't matter much about the current state of the world. We could just make up any concept or idea. But I always wanted to put some societal elements as a base into the game to introduce the players to what's happening, and maybe they'll think about it. Of course, all the while, still be entertaining. With this speed of change, I need to really consider which prediction I make and which way I introduce ideas to the player. And I believe that was from the Game Awards, that final quote. Kojima's been working on this for some time, and all these talks about him partnering with Microsoft are really, really exciting. So to me, this says he's going to be doing something more in vein to maybe a Silent Hill, but more like a new concept where he's challenging himself to make a scary game where people aren't forced to turn away. I don't know how he meets that. I think the people who I know who are freaked out by scary games, they either won't play them or they will play them and they will pause frequently or step away frequently as they need to. And I think that's totally fine if that's what works for you for that genre. But I'm really excited to see what he does. Like I said, this sounds more like a PT. This sounds more like a, what is it? Dark Pictures Man of Medan, I think was the last expansion. I don't remember. I don't follow that series very well. But I think that's a good example of creating a genre that speaks to more people. So what do you think this project is going to be? It's definitely happening. It seems like the ink is almost dry. I hope we hear about it soon because I am definitely interested. Hey, that's the end of this video. I want to know what you think. But before I let you go, just a reminder, all month long, we're raising money for St. Jude Children's Hospital. They are working to cure cancer and other rare childhood diseases. We're nearing the end of the month. Let's see where we're at for a goal. We are at, 2830. Our original goal was 1,000. Let's try and do 3 times the original goal. If we can hit 3,000, I will be happy. And if we hit that $5,000 goal, I'll be super happy. Thank you so much to everybody who has donated thus far. Let me see here. Just a few things. $10 will get a new toy for the waiting area. $250 will get a family a meal gift card. $500 will get a bone marrow transplant. Every little bit helps, though. So if everybody just donates a little bit, that will help the goal get 1 inch closer. And I started this as just sort of a charitable thing. I did it all month long. We ended up shattering the $1,000 goal in the first week, and just thank you for helping us get that far. Well, I also have you, if you like these sort of videos, please consider subscribing, hit that bell so that you know when I post new content. I try and post a new video every single day. My schedule's been a little weird, admittedly, because I've been exhausted. I've been trying to assemble furniture and move things in the house. And honestly, I just needed some downtime. So I've been posting a little bit later when I have the energy to come on camera and talk with you all. So if you like these sort of videos, please subscribe, hit that bell so you know when the videos go live. And if you want to become a member, memberships are a thing YouTube offers to content creators like myself. Thank you so much to everybody who has become a member. You guys rock. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to try and record another one today so that you have one bright and early tomorrow. I'll get back to that 7 a.m. schedule. I promise. It's just been tough. Maybe I'll announce that I'm going to take a day or two off to recuperate. But man, I got some good sleep last night. I'll say that. And I certainly need it. Anyway, I'm getting too personal, but thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you for the next one. Bye, everybody.